The alley behind Mercer Street was where everyone dumped the things they didn't want anymore. Broken chairs, empty bottles, torn mattresses, and sometimes people. That's where Eddie lived. His camp was a sagging blue tarp tied between a rusted fire escape and a dented dumpster. Beneath it, he kept a milk crate for his clothes, a shopping cart for cans, and a cracked thermos he'd had for years. Most mornings he woke to the sound of delivery trucks and rats fighting over scraps. But this morning was different. Eddie rolled out of his blanket and stretched. Something clinked beneath his elbow. He frowned and brushed away the dirt. A coin, not like the quarters or pennies he sometimes found near the parking meters. This one was thick, heavy, gold, real gold. The surface was strange, old symbols stamped around the edge and a tiny figure carved in the center. "Holy hell," Eddie whispered. He rubbed it clean on his sleeve, grinning so wide his cracked lips hurt. That coin meant food, maybe a motel room, maybe even a bus ticket somewhere warmer. He shoved the coin into his pocket and hurried 3 blocks down to the pawn shop on the corner. The sign read, "Gold Jewelry, Cash Today." Inside, the place smelled like metal and old carpet. Behind the counter sat the owner, Carl, bald, thick-necked, and always chewing gum like he hated it. Carl squinted when Eddie stepped up. "Yeah?" Eddie placed the coin carefully on the glass. "Found this. Real gold, right?" Carl picked it up. His eyes flickered for just a moment. A strange look. Then he scoffed. "Cheap novelty coin." "What?" Eddie said. "Brass with plating. Worth scrap weight." Carl tossed it on a scale and shrugged. "I'll give you $20. Eddie stared at him. "20? That thing's solid gold." Carl leaned closer. "Take it or leave it, man." Eddie hesitated. His stomach growled. $20 was still food. He sighed. "Fine." Carl smirked and slid the bill across the counter. Eddie left feeling cheated but relieved. $20 meant a burger, coffee, maybe even a beer. He slept heavy that night, but the next morning sirens woke him. 2 police cars, yellow tape, people whispering, at the pawn shop. Eddie wandered closer. A woman stood nearby, shaking her head. "Something tore him apart," she said, "like a wild animal." Eddie frowned. "Who?" "The pawn shop owner. Carl." His stomach twisted. Police officers began asking questions around the block. Eventually, they reached Eddie. "You know the victim?" one asked. "Sold him a coin yesterday." "Coin?" "Yeah, a gold one." They exchanged a glance. "Where'd you get it?" "In the alley." They questioned him for almost an hour, but Eddie had nothing to hide. No blood, no weapon. Witnesses had seen him leave hours before Carl was killed. Eventually, they let him go. Still, the story spread through the neighborhood. The owner had been ripped open, not stabbed, not shot, torn apart, like something with claws had done it. That night, Eddie couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the coin, about Carl's strange look, about the way he had tried to hide something. Around midnight, Eddie rubbed his eyes and looked down the alley. Something moved near the dumpster, fast, small. He blinked, nothing there. "Rats," he muttered. But the next night it happened again. A flicker, a blur of green, something darting behind a trash can. Too fast, too small. Eddie sat up. "Hello?" Silence. Then, a faint tapping sound, like metal hitting concrete. Tap, tap, tap. Eddie turned slowly. At the far end of the alley, just beyond the glow of a streetlight, something stood in the shadows. Tiny, no taller than a child. But the proportions were wrong. Its head tilted, watching him. Eddie's chest tightened. "What the hell?" The thing moved, not walking, gliding. Then it vanished behind a pile of crates. Eddie jumped up. "Hey!" He ran over. Nothing, just trash. But on the ground was something shining. Another coin, gold. His stomach dropped. That's when he heard the voice, right behind him, soft, angry, Irish. "You shouldn't be spending what isn't yours." Eddie slowly turned. Standing on the dumpster lid was the creature, barely 3 feet tall, green coat, crooked hat, skin pale and wrinkled like old leather. But the eyes were wrong. black pits with tiny yellow pupils burning inside. Its mouth stretched into a grin full of needle teeth. A leprechaun, but not the cheerful kind from cereal boxes. This thing looked ancient, hungry. "You took my gold," it hissed. Eddie stumbled backward. I found it!" The creature's smile widened. "And that greedy shopkeeper tried to steal it." Eddie's mind flashed to the news, to Carl's shredded body. "You killed him." The leprechaun hopped down lightly. Its feet didn't even make a sound. "Gold is life," it said softly, "and life must be taken from thieves." Eddie shook his head. "I don't have it anymore, I swear." The leprechaun tilted its head. "Oh." It reached into its coat, pulled out a small leather pouch, turned it upside down. Dozens of gold coins spilled across the alley floor. They rolled everywhere, right up to Eddie's feet. His heart pounded. "Wah! What are you doing?" The creature's grin stretched wider. "Testing you." Its eyes gleamed. "Let's see how greedy you are." Eddie didn't move, not for a long time, but hunger is a powerful thing. Slowly, he bent down, picked up one coin. The leprechaun's smile turned into something monstrous. "Ah," it whispered. Its claws slowly slid out of its fingers. "Another thief." The streetlight flickered, and Eddie finally understood why the pawn shop owner had screamed so loudly the night before. Thank you for the support. It keeps the darkness alive. Stay locked in, keep your lights low, and subscribe to Quick Creepy Tales, where the stories don't end when the video does. See you in the next nightmare.